Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Cleveland sports. The Indians won a big game last night over the Minnesota Twins, and they really looked excited on the bench, especially when home runs were flying out of the ballpark. What we found out after the game is they had been told by Carlos-Carrasco that Carlos, the Indians starter, expected to start tonight, is going to go on the IL with a blood disorder. That's terrible news, of course, as far as the pitching staff is concerned, but it's worse news as far as Carlos is concerned also, and hopefully he gets his situation straightened out soon. Tyler Clippard will be going on the mound in what is now the next biggest game of the year, and they'll probably make it a bullpen game. Best of luck to them. And then the Yankees come in town over the weekend. Dennis-Manoloff is here. More Sports and Les-Levine starts right now. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into its 23rd consecutive year. And as always, seen exclusively on cleveland.com, the D-Man Dennis-Manoloff is with us. And D-Man, even when there's no story on a certain day in Cleveland sports, something always happens. That's what happened today, the announcement of Carlos-Carrasco and a blood disorder, and that's horrible, terrible news for him, although we don't know how bad it is. But the Indians had a blood disorder last year, right?
Yeah, it was something along those lines with Leonys Martin.
Yeah, not saying it's the same situation.
You wouldn't want to do that because Leonys was at death's door virtually immediately, or at least that's how we learned of it. But the first thing you think about is Carlos and his family, that this is going to be something that can be solved. But the fact of the matter is, it's not every day that a player goes on the IL with a blood disorder.
Right, you don't hear about that.
It is alarming. And the fact that he spoke to the team, and I think that's what we were told, right?
Yeah,
he
and
spoke
Francona
to
had said
address the team or something.
Francona had said that he had been lethargic for the last couple of weeks, so that's what they found.
Yeah, we have to wait and not rush to try to play doctor, but it's concerning to say the least. And the first thing you think about is the human before you think about the player.
All right, so the team knew about it before the game, and when you watch the game, if you watched it on TV, as the home runs were flying out, they really seemed excited. They didn't seem like they had a care in the world. Baseball's baseball.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing how players are able to compartmentalize. They professional athletes in general, not just baseball players. They're able to put bad news aside for 3 hours and go out and compete, and then, they understand again. Or if it's not even, it could be on the subconscious mind, but they're able to perform despite bad news around them.
From a baseball standpoint, it was a game they had to have, really, if they want to get back in. I don't know if they can get back in, but I think they needed a sweep in this three-game series. And Carlos was supposed to pitch tonight, but instead it'll be Tyler Clippard. Where'd that come from?
Well, that's the classic opener of the Tampa Bay Rays ilk.
Right.
So we'll see. I mean, maybe the Indians relax. Maybe they feel like, okay, this is a game that the Twins think they have to get.
Right.
Because we lost Carrasco and we have to put in Clippard. And so maybe the Indians relax in that way and possibly steal it. I would think that to be mentioned as a AL Central contender, you've got to sweep these guys. I don't think you can have the Twins leave this series up 10.5,
only
which is losing
2
of 3. So, or winning 2 of 3 for the Indians, losing 2 of 3 for the Twins. So I think you have to sweep in order to feel like you have some sort of a chance, not legitimate.
So the way it's worded by the Indians, that Carrasco will step away from baseball due to the blood disorder, and more word will come when the family wants to release information about that. So we will certainly honor that.
That's the law, too. That's the HIPAA law.
Absolutely.
You can't disclose that information.
All right, Mike-Clevinger is expected to start tomorrow in Columbus. Let's take a look at the starting pitchers who've been on the injured list this year. Here you see Carrasco, and today's on the IL. Blood condition is the way we can word it. Mike-Clevinger, of course, has back issues, and he will be pitching in Columbus tomorrow. Then you go down to Corey-Kluber. You know his situation with a broken right arm. And Jefry-Rodriguez has not pitched very well, but he's got a right shoulder strain. Cody-Anderson on the 7-day IL with an elbow problem, and danny-salazar, who knows where he is.
Yeah, I don't even include Salazar on that list, really. But I mean, I get it. I understand why he's on there. But for me, mentally, I don't put Salazar on that type of list.
But they paid $4 million for him. Adam Plutko likely will be called, recalled from Columbus, although they haven't said that yet. In AAA, he's had 4 starts this season, 2 in MLB, and you see the list down there. He's actually pitched better in AAA than he has with the Indians.
Well, those ERAs are pretty ginormous. I can't believe that's Plutko's ERA in AAA. I mean, that he's given up 13 earned in 15 innings. I haven't followed him closely enough, but I still like him as a stopgap measure.
All right, there's some good news from the Indians minor league camp, and that is that Bobby Bradley was chosen as the International League Player of the Month, and there you see what he has done so far, and that is a .302 batting average, 12 homers, 28 RBIs, 7 multi-hit games, 2 multi-homer games. Francisco Lindor had a multi-homer game last night for his 9th and 10th of the year. How soon should Bradley be brought up, yesterday or today?
Exactly. I'm not sure what they're waiting for, but,
Well, he can only play first. What do you want? And I assume you're just rotating him with Carlos Santana.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there you go.
What else?
There's
what
the
else
answer.
would you do?
Yeah. No, I'm not sure, but I'd love to see a stick like that in this lineup.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Dennis-Manoloff with WTAM.com and WTAM, and does a terrific job with them. That is for sure. Odell Beckham showed up today.
There he is, right over your shoulder.
It's an over-the-shoulder catch.
The return of the snatch catch, among other things.
Right.
We got a receiver who grabs balls out of the air. The catch radius is ginormous. I was saying I wouldn't worry about Odell until and unless he doesn't report to mandatory mini. He reports to mandatory mini, and you instantly, I wasn't there, but I saw the clips.
Right.
You instantly know who he is and why he is who he is.
Right.
Because you see all sorts of athleticism and catchability, and to me, I kind of sarcastically tweeted out, "Oh, it sure looks like he needed those OTA reps and those campfire chats with teammates."
I hadn't thought about this. We've talked about the reasons he should have been there, the reasons he shouldn't have been there, and all that stuff. And the only thing I now think about that is that he put his quarterback, Baker-Mayfield, in a bad position, having to answer for him every day. That's not fair to Baker, but Baker's a leader, and he gets it.
I would say he more put Freddie Kitchens in a difficult spot as a first-year head coach in the NFL. But, listen, I mean, Beckham sounded great in the presser and did what he was supposed to do in this mini. I'm not worried about him in the slightest. He's talking about September, about how that, thankfully, there's time. But if anybody can catch up quickly, it's Odell Beckham Jr.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. D-Man, you're sort of a historian of the Indians, right?
A little bit.
There's a couple of eras that
I don't
not
pretend
many
to be
people.
you or Russ Schneider, the late Russ Schneider.
Not too many people know of certain eras. For example, when Bob Feller came up in the late 30s, I mean, he, of course, is the main guy. But Scott Longard, who's a terrific writer,
yes.
Has written The Bad Boys and Bad Times, also No Money, No Beer, No Penance. There's the graphic. There's Bob Feller on the right there, warming up, right? And he's going to be on the road. Scott will be June 7th, which is this Friday. That's this coming Friday. He'll be at the Main Street Books in Mansfield from 6 until 8 p.m. Then on Saturday, he'll be at Barnes & Noble's in Widmer on Chagrin Boulevard. That's from 1 until 3. Then on the 15th, he'll be at the Barnes & Noble's in Menor from 1 to 3. Then he'll be at the Book Loft on the 16th. That's in Columbus in German Village. That'll be from 1 to 3. That's Father's Day. You're looking for a Father's Day gift? This is an era that I really didn't know that much about, but it's got the crybabies in that era and a whole bunch of interesting things as far as Cleveland Indian history is concerned. Scott Longard has done a terrific job on 2 of these books that people don't know that much about. Bad Boys, Bad Times, and No Money, No Beer, and No Pennants. ScottLongert.com for more information. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine, with new content posted each and every day. We'll come back in a moment with the D-man, Dennis-Manoloff, and we'll hear from Odell Beckham. There's Brian back there. Hello, Brian. There you go. He's getting married this weekend.
All right.
Or next weekend, which one?
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Everybody's out here, they're moving fast. It's new plays, new position, just everything, just adjusting to it. But, you know, I've always been a pretty smart guy as far as when it comes to the playbook. So it won't be anything to pick up. It won't be too hard to pick up.
So it seems like they're using you a lot inside and outside.
Everywhere.
You like to do all of that?
Everywhere. It just creates matchup problems. You know, usually some receivers they go to the left side, they go to the right side. When you have somebody who can move all the way around, it helps the offense out more. You can't really game plan for it. You don't know where exactly I'm going to be. It really just makes it a lot harder for the other team to game plan.
Odell, why did you stay away from most of those games?
Everybody knows their body. You know, I know my body better than anybody else, so I know what it takes to get me in top physical condition, mental, all of those things. So, you know, this isn't my first rodeo. It's not my first go around. I just know what it takes to get there.
When you showed up on the first day of OTAs, were you just not feeling it, and that's why you didn't come to the rest, or was that planned ahead of time?
No, you know, Coach and I have a different plan than, you know, everybody else knows. We talked and communicated throughout the entire offseason, so he knew my whereabouts and when I'd be here and coming in or when I wouldn't be. So everybody kind of knew the game plan, and just taking my time, easing back into it. You know, the good thing about it is we play in September. So.
There was only 2 days of minicamp practice, but was there ever a point in the last 2 days that on the field you began to see the possibilities of what it can do?
It's so like words don't even really do it justice for being out here, and just knowing, you know, I'm almost giddy. Like I'm almost like I feel like a little kid. Like the excitement that I have. Seeing Baker, seeing these guys, seeing, you know, we talk a lot about this offense, but this defense is something special. And this team is really coming together. But, you know, the good part about it is it's only June, beginning of June. Still got a lot of time. You still got a whole training camp to go through. And I feel like this team's really going to come together. But I'm beyond excited about an opportunity I have to just start over. A new team. Obviously, the goal is always going to be the same. It's to hang banners. That's what you play this game for. But we know we got a lot of expectations. We know we got a lot of work to do, and I think we'll get there.
We kind of asked you this before, but sharing the ball with so many players, if your numbers drop and you guys win, how are you going to react to that?
More celebrations, you know, different ways for us to celebrate. Get to see some guys' creativity, but this game's about winning. This game's, you know, I know some of us get stuck up on numbers, but this game's about winning. I'd much rather be in the playoffs than go for 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns, because to me, I'm supposed to do that anyway. So being at home and having to end the season with that is never going to be good enough for me. I'm ready to get back to the playoffs and show what I can do.
All right, do we announce that he won the press conference?
I mean, yeah, we usually do around in Cleveland parts, but yes, listen, I can't wait to see this guy play when the lights come on. Again, how silly is it? Oh, he missed OTAs. Oh, I mean, come on. The chemistry thing. As soon as he walks in the locker room, 5 minutes later, there's chemistry. I mean, the guys are looking at him like, oh, Odell's here. All right, cool. You think he needs time to get to know everybody? No, he's a star. And stars don't need to move to the same drum beat as everybody else. Now, I will say this. Speaking of stars, Baker-Mayfield, I mean, a little bit harsh, I think, on Duke Johnson
You think
Jr.
so, really?
I thought so. The self-inflicted line wasn't necessary to me.
All right, maybe so, but he might have made more. I think that's what leaders do.
Yeah, but does some of the locker room guys who know Duke Johnson,
right,
who've played with Duke Johnson longer than they have played with Baker,
right,
are they going, hey, we know he's our franchise QB, but don't be dissing Duke Johnson here, because Johnson is in a precarious position for his career. He's trying to get more money and more years out of his career, which, by the way, as a running back, is short to begin with.
Well, but he signed a contract. He's under contract.
Well,
he can't get more money now.
Well, no, but he's trying to figure out how to get to another team where he can maximize his skills.
Do you think there's another team in the NFL that's going to give him 20 touches?
I mean, I don't know, but he knows it's not coming here. Now, I think the Browns should keep him.
You got Chubb. And then who knows what you have for the next 8 weeks.
That's my point. I think the Browns should keep him and can try to convince him, look, we believe you have skills. You've shown that you can play on bad teams. Now you get a chance to play on a good team. You're going to get used just by the nature of the NFL, with attrition being what it is. Who knows who's going to get hurt one week and you're going to be available. He could be the Swiss Army knife for this offense. So try to get him to buy in. But he dug in and said, no, I want to go somewhere else.
You said he's got friends in the locker room, but Nick Chubb may have some also, and that kind of pushed Chubb up higher.
Yeah, I don't even know.
What Baker said.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to talk about a drama here, and I'm not trying to be over dramatic, but if you're going to talk about a drama, it would be between Johnson and Mayfield, based on Mayfield saying that the so-called awkwardness of Duke wanting out is self-inflicted.
Right.
If I'm Mayfield, I recognize that everybody wants to get paid, that I'm going to want to get paid at some point, much more than I'm already making. So simply say, no, it's not awkward to have a guy around here who wants to be somewhere else. We trust that he's going to be a professional as long as he's a member of the Cleveland Browns. Leave it at that. I don't think you had to add, to twist the knife there and say self-inflicted.
Maybe not. But in reality, what is he worth to somebody, some other team? And that answer is 5th or 6th round draft pick.
Well,
it's not higher than that.
And the Browns don't want to give him away because they see what you see, Les. Who knows what happens after Chubb? Hunt's not available, at a best case until the second half of the season, provided he stays on the level. You don't know what's going to happen at the wide receiver position. Perhaps Duke is bounced out to the slot.
Right.
You've got him as a change of pace back anyway. So,
well, here's what I'm thinking.
I think Duke is a guy you want to keep. I think the Browns want to keep him. And I'm actually okay with Duke Johnson saying I'd prefer to be elsewhere as long as he shows up and plays for the Browns until unless he's shipped out.
Well, that's a good point. But he should, if he does stay, one would think he'd find some touches because they're going to have to double team somebody out there, maybe 2 people out there, leaving more room for Johnson.
Yeah, Les, I had talked about this a couple weeks ago when I said I want to see the Browns retain Duke because you have the 5 linemen, obviously. That leaves 6 spots. The quarterback makes 5 spots now, 5 skill spots available here. You've got Beckham, Landry, Callaway, Higgins. That's 4 of those 5. Plus your tight end, at least one, Njoku. All right, now all of a sudden, who else? You know, because that's 5 plus the QB is 6 plus the line is 11. So Duke would have to sub in somewhere, but he's still valuable.
All right, before we go to the next segment, we'll hear more from some of the rounds. There's a news release put out by Jay Farner, who's the president of Quicken Loans Arena. D-Man, can you dig that up and tell him what he had to say about Dan Gilbert?
Yes, from the Quicken Loans president, Jay Farner. Dan Gilbert and his family are beyond grateful for the thoughts and well wishes from so many people as they focus on Dan's recovery. His family is happy to share that he maintains his strong sense of humor and focus on constant improvement. In fact, a few days ago, Dan requested his favorite beverage when the hospital staff informed him they were not able to provide it. In the humorous tone Dan is known for, he insisted that a review of the hospital's beverage best practices be completed. To be clear, this is very important. To be clear, this is the end of the statement. Dan's recovery is a process that will take time, but we are all confident that he will meet this challenge head on, as he always does. Yeah. I mean, he suffered a stroke, right? I mean, that it later came out that he suffered a stroke. Because initially it was stroke-like symptoms.
Correct.
He was clearly befallen by a serious medical issue.
And
that's going to take time to recover from.
He had been taken to the hospital, and then apparently the stroke took place at the hospital, which is a good thing. 216-575-0403. Absolutely. So we'll hear from Kirksey and Richardson when we get back. Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing. You can catch the excitement Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as well as Saturday evenings with a post time of 6 p.m. Open early every day for simulcast action with weekly Sunday contests with the top prize, $500 in cash a week. Free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. But the Belmont Stakes can be seen in the Battle of Lake Erie. That's this coming Saturday. Doors open early at 10:30 a.m. for simulcast racing all around the world. We'll take a break. We'll come on back in a moment with the D-Man, Dennis-Manoloff. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
When my dad started Nature Stone right here in Northeast Ohio, he created a solution for age-old concrete problems. Unevenness, cracking, pitting, and more. Nature Stone solves all of these problems in garages, basements, and outdoor spaces. Nature Stone is beautiful, environmentally friendly, and always affordable. Plus, Nature Stone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Get Nature Stone installed in your home by the end of May and get up to half off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
You know, just a track record of, how Steve Wilkes, has his defense going, with a lot of two-backer defenses. And, when we watch film, we see a lot of two-backer defenses as well. But, we got, a different depth chart, different guys that's on this team. So we may be stronger at three linebackers. You never know. So right now we're just trying to get a feel of everything and see what we're most comfortable at and the best way to go into the season with.
Christian, the addition of and Sheldon to that defense as well. Could you just touch on how that could potentially impact you?
Me personally? I love it.
In the defense and
okay.
You're going to be able
well,
to do.
I mean, on a personal standpoint, whenever a linebacker got some dogs in front of him, it makes it a lot easier. Allows linebackers to run through freely, especially, we got 2 Pro Bowl caliber players like that. That's a hard task for offensive linemen to think about them and think about linebackers as well. So, we got guys that's making plays in the front, then it just makes it easier for your job. And then just for a defense, they bring great leadership to the defense, experience, they know how to win, and they're playmakers. So, whenever you got more and more playmakers on the field, it allows everybody to run freely and just have fun and make plays. So they're definitely a good addition for us.
The potential there. But like I said, week in and week out, we got to do that. We got to be the best. If that's what y'all predicting us as to be, then we got to go out there and prove that. But our standards are always going to be higher than yours.
When you say the potential's there, do you think the potential is there for you guys to be the best in the league?
Yeah. Everybody has a chance out here to make plays in this defense. That's the best part about it. Free range for everybody. Coverages is a little, move faster. Not too much diversity to it. A little bit here and there, but not too much. Everybody stick to what they do best.
Well, there you have it. Christian-Kirksey and Sheldon-Richardson.
I thought I read a quote where Richardson said, I might be the reason, or I'm the reason that McCoy might not be here or isn't here.
Maybe.
That was kind of funny.
What I don't understand is why they didn't seem to be glad to accept him if he did come here. I mean, the more the merrier, especially at that position.
Yeah,
those
but
positions.
We have to remember that these guys have, shouldn't be hard to remember, that these guys have big egos.
Right.
And they want to play. And you'd have to be telling Richardson and Ogunjobi that they're going to need to rotate if you bring a guy like McCoy in.
If there was any position or any unit that you would rotate, it would be the defensive line.
Correct. And we know that Ogunjobi and Richardson are not going to play every down, but you don't want to, it's hard to tell. And who knows, McCoy, word out of Tampa initially was that McCoy was saying, hey, I'm in my 30s now. I want to save my body, perhaps squeeze another year or two out of it longer. So I'm okay with rotating. Well, I don't know what the Panthers' plans are, but maybe the Panthers said, hey, you're going to be one of the main guys.
Right, so
you're not going to have to rotate. Yeah. And he looked at the other situations, at least the Cleveland situation, and said, I'm probably going to have to rotate.
All right, so how good can this defensive line be? I mean, names and on paper look pretty good.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you start with the bookends. Garrett showed what he can do. He would say he's just scratched the surface.
Right.
Because remember, he's saying about Greg Williams, he only let me use 2 moves. So I can't wait to see Garrett not only with more than 2 moves, but another year of experience and a guy on the other side who, no offense to Agbar or anybody else, commands a lot more attention.
Right.
So now you've got Vernon over there, and the inside, Ogunjobi showed how good he could be. And Richardson's a man-eater, so, I mean, it could be fun.
If Myles Garrett is as good as he thinks he's going to be using 4 or 5 moves, that's almost like having to prepare for another player, a new player coming into the team.
Yeah, and unless on the radio, I believe it was yesterday, I heard Demarius Randall take some shots at Greg Williams, okay?
Right.
And normally you don't see that. I mean, usually you let the guy go unless he's the head coach, okay? Now, Greg Williams was the interim. I get it. But I'm talking about a guy that was definitively a head coach and then he's fired.
Right.
But
Jabril Peppers isn't going to say anything as a first-year or second-year man.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is for now at least two, and maybe there's more that I don't know about, Garrett and Randall, 2 very well-respected veterans, to specifically state negativity about Greg Williams. What does that tell you? That tells you that Greg Williams must have rubbed these guys the wrong way.
Exactly.
While we're on the outside thinking, oh, Greg Williams, eat nails for breakfast. These guys are going to the wall for him.
Right.
They probably couldn't wait till he got out of town.
Which is probably why he knew he was not going to be the head coach. So you got the defensive line, you got the linebackers and defensive backs. Which of those 3 units is the strength of this defense?
Well, certainly
certainly
the D-line, with the names that are in there. But you look at the linebacker, you say, okay, maybe there's a weakness. But you have Kirksey, you have Schobert, you have Avery being mixed in there. You've got Taki, who could potentially do something. Don't sleep on the Mack truck. So who knows what they've got there? It's not nearly as, 5-star as the line, but they could be good. And then the DBs, I mean, are you going to quibble with Randall and Denzel Ward, provided he's healthy. Greedy Williams picked 6 on Baker today. So it looks like there's talent everywhere, and that's an exciting thing.
I spoke to Taki today.
You did?
Yeah. Well, on radio. Had him
All
on
right.
radio. I was on with Andy Baskin today on 92.3 The Fan. I'll be there tomorrow also from 10 to 2. And he's excited. And, you know, if you're a veteran, you look forward to this time because you rest up before you hit the trenches for good. And he just says, no, give me that playbook, give me that iPad, and I'll spend all my time with that.
Yeah, and there's no secret, and he makes no, he didn't hide it, that he had issues in college. But here's the thing, John Dorsey, Browns general manager, is willing to take shots with guys who have a checkered past when he sees the athleticism.
Exactly.
And to me, when I was reading the post-draft analysis of Taki, because I didn't know who he was before the draft.
Well, if anybody
admit.
says they were watching...
I mean, some of them, like Dane Brugler might have, but I mean, not many people were locked on Taki as a Browns pick. Well, once he was picked, I started reading up on him, watched some of the... I mean, he's flying around the field.
Right.
And he loves to hit people.
That's what you heard most about him, no question about it. All right, we're going to find out. We've talked about the defense. We'll find out about the offense. We'll hear from Baker-Mayfield when we get back. You can also check out the voicemail of Truth and Reason. If you can't reach us during the air time, which is from 6 until 7 p.m. Eastern Time, well, that's when we do the show live. When we're not here, you can contact us at 216-200-6650. Call anytime. We'll leave a message, and we'll use those messages on a future show. Dennis-Manoloff and I return in a moment. We're halfway through. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
Since Freddie took over about halfway through the year last year and just kind of learning how he wanted to process things on the fly. And then now the off season's really about, you know, your reps and then trying different stuff out. Does this
Well, that's Baker Mayfield.
Wow.
See, nobody...
So some big fingers there.
And, wasn't Hugh Jackson one of finger size? Wasn't he the one? 216-575-0403. All right, what do you expect from this combo of Baker Mayfield along with Freddie Kitchens? They've had over a half year together.
Yeah, it's exciting on a number of fronts, even though Mayfield didn't have a good day today, apparently. And in the mandatory mini session, we did see the greedy pick 6, and apparently there were some others. But if I'm worried about Baker Mayfield on this particular day, then I got serious issues. But I think the key with Mayfield and Kitchens, you got to add Monk into this. You have the Mayfield-Kitchens familiarity. And I think for a quarterback trying to make that jump from year 1 to year 2 and continue the ascension as a player, it helps to have familiarity.
Right.
Not only with your head coach,
coach,
but with the system.
Right.
You know, it could be a defensive coach that that sticks around, but you have a new offensive guy coming.
Right.
In this case, Mayfield knows the system, and he happens to know the head coach. And I would assume Monken is going to, you know, fit like a glove with these guys. So I can't wait to see what they dream up. Mayfield has tools all over the place. Mayfield or Odell was talking about the playbook and stuff.
Right.
To me, it's very simple, a playbook with Odell. All you guys over here, Odell,
I'm going by the Chevy
isolated
over
on the
there.
left, and you do what? Just get open.
Yeah,
and he'll get open. And by the way, his catch radius is so ridiculous because he's got the snatch catch and he's got the big arms and hands, so he can catch anything, anywhere. It's going to be fun to watch these guys.
By the way, I was told that Monken will probably have more input than most guys do without calling plays. He'll have a lot of influence as to what goes on.
You would think that he would. I know that one of the main reasons Freddie Kitchens got the job was because of his offensive mind.
Right.
So you don't want to deny him the ability to call plays, but he also has so much more on his plate as a new NFL head coach. So
well, we'll see how long that play calling lasts.
Agreed. And I don't know, maybe they share it somehow during the game or something, but I would think that when you have a mind and a resume that belongs to Monken, you would want to use that as much as possible.
All right, according to several reputable reports, the Browns released Desmond Harrison, the lineman, after he missed a flight to minicamp. That's a signal that's being sent out, right?
I mean, it's interesting. He was the starting left tackle at the outset of the season.
Yeah, he started the first 8 games of 2018 at left tackle. Greg Robinson replaced him as starter after Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley were replaced also. And however, there's nothing that would prevent them from re-signing him later on when they get close. I doubt that they would. But
yeah, but you could have to examine what were the reasons why he was released. Chances
it couldn't be just one missed plane.
Correct. And so why would the Browns want to go back down that road again after they just said no thanks?
Right. All right. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Facebook question of the day and find out what you people had to say. We're getting more and more each and every day. We appreciate that. Spread the word about us. You can see us Monday through Friday from 6 until 7 Eastern Time. That's live right here on cleveland.com. Then, of course, you can archive the other 23 hours, maybe all 24 hours at cleveland.com. We'll take a break. We'll come on back. Sokolowski's University Inn. They've been there since 1923, almost heading up toward the 100-year mark. How about that? They had the great wine tasting event the other day on Sunday. Fantastic. And they are the only winners that we can tell in Cleveland of the James Beard Foundation Award, which is the highest, the most prestigious award in the restaurant business. And nobody else from Cleveland has ever won it. Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn. There's nothing better. Open 11 to 3 Monday through Friday, and Friday and Saturday nights for dinner. Dennis-Manoloff and I return in a moment, exclusively on cleveland.com.
The concrete in your garage is uneven, cracked, pitted, and just plain ugly. Transform your garage into a welcoming entryway with NatureStone flooring. NatureStone corrects uneven concrete so you don't have to worry about tripping or slipping. Plus, NatureStone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Get NatureStone installed in your home by the end of May and get up to half off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's NatureStone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Let's take a look at this date in sports history. D-Man, June 5th. Absolutely nothing of real consequence happened in sports history on June 5th.
Wow.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. However, something did happen in this date in Les-Levine history. June 5th, 1960, Les and his classmates went on a hayride to celebrate the end of the school year. Whenever he went to get a seat, every girl yelled, "Hey," hence the name hayride.
Nice. I like it.
I don't make them up in many cases.
I thought they were going to continue.
No, that's it. No, on Thursday nights when you're here, we do the wrap-up of the week. You won't be here tomorrow. Jeff Shudell from the News Herald will join us tomorrow. 216-575-0403. Preseason dates and times were announced today. As you know, the 2 home games and 2 away games. The Redskins and the Lions will be at home on Thursday nights, August 8th and August 27th, or 29th rather. And then they'll be at the Colts and the Buccaneers. Of course, that 4th game against the Lions.
For the Barge, right?
It's for the Barge. It's probably the worst sporting event that I can ever think of. Exhibition game number 4.
Well, I'm glad that John and Brian and the rest of the crew inside put the graphic up, because Roger Goodell has been talking recently about how he agrees that exhibition games are meaningless, essentially, right. And what that leads you to believe
18.
He's pounding the drum for 18 games.
How can you talk about health and wellness of players and then say we're going to have 18 regular season games?
Yeah, that's the real sticky wicket that the NFL is dealing with. Now, you also have the collective bargaining, which I believe is after the 2020?
Yeah.
Right, so good luck with that. But I think Goodell's trying to lay the groundwork again for an 18-game season. But how does he get around all of the reports and all of the evidence about brain injuries?
Well, 2 things. Number 1, from a competitive balance and competitive playoffs and all that stuff, 16 is the right number, right? 16 games is the right number.
But aren't they saying that if it goes to 18, you get another playoff team in there?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But you could do that with 16 games and get rid of the bye weeks for the champs of the divisions. You could do that.
Listen, I got an idea, Les. Even if you don't go to 18, why don't you, is it possible to do another, like a double bye per season, just to stretch it out a little more? And I mean, I want an NFL.
Yeah, you could do that.
I want an NFL regular season to last longer.
The problem is weather in half the cities. You add another week, you got a problem. Cleveland, Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota and Detroit have indoor, but cities like that, Buffalo.
I want to see some wacky outdoor games.
Well, I do too, but you know what this is all about? They're trying to add it because gambling's coming in, and they can make more money on the gambling.
There's no question. There's no doubt.
Let's check out the voicemail of Truth and Reason. See, make that Facebook. And our Facebook question of the day, what do you think about how the Duke Johnson situation is playing out? Let's take a look at what some of you had to say. Glenn Berger, it doesn't sound like Duke wants to play in Cleveland. He's a valuable member of the team, especially on third downs, but it seems that Johnson is not content being just a third down player. He will still get a lot of playing time while Kareem Hunt sits out the first 8 games of the season. I think he wants a lot more playing time, however. Hey, you're 1 injury away from being the first stringer. Rick May says the front office has to decide if we have depth at the running back position to trade Duke right now, be it now or when Kareem Hunt becomes available. A trade for an additional help at linebacker or the offensive line would be the right move for me. Dennis Davis says I would let it play itself out. The Browns hold options in this situation. I would play him and hopefully it'll improve his trade value. It's a long season and he gives the team a myriad of options. Michael Galandiak says you'll get nothing from him. Make him play. Chris DeGennaro says, who cares? The Twins are in town. In case you haven't heard, Carlos-Carrasco will not be pitching tonight. He's got a blood issues, and he's on the IL right now.
Yeah, and of those Facebook comments, Dennis Davis, I liked what he had to say. you keep him, and he's versatile. He gives your offense another skill position player who can do things.
What if Chubb does get hurt? All of a sudden, he's number one.
Right, and I don't know that you ever want Duke Johnson to be your bell cow back, if you will. But, yeah, I just think, and I think the Browns are saying, given the attrition rate in professional football, he will get his touches somehow, some way. Not just running backs, but anybody. He's going to figure out a way to get on the field enough. But, if you're Duke Johnson, I don't blame him for saying, hey, it doesn't look like I'm going to get a lot of work here, especially the second half of the year, and I want to get paid at some point in my career. So, no, I don't necessarily want to be with the Browns. But he's a professional enough, he's a gamer enough, that he can say, I don't want to be here, but in the next breath, say, but I'm going to be a professional and go out and give it everything I have on the field.
Doesn't Freddie Kitchen have to go to him and say, enough already? You're a Cleveland Brown until you're not a Cleveland Brown.
For all we know, that might have already happened, Les, and also it's possible that Baker walked back a little bit of his bravado, Johnson, since the comments. Maybe they had a little tete-a-tete, if you will. So we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but reports are that Johnson is doing what professionals do. He's going out there and he's not going through the motions. He's not loafing. Right. He's trying, and we'll see.
216-575-0403. If you want to get in before the end of the show, we've got a line open for you right now if you'd like to do that. Northfield Park. You can catch the excitement of live harness racing at Northfield Park Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as well as Saturday evenings with a post time of 6 p.m., but open early every day at noon for simulcast action from all over the world. They've got weekly Sunday contests, a handicapping contest, top prize $500 a week. Lady Luck's Clubhouse is open every Saturday with a buffet for just $15.95. Free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. Don't forget the Belmont Stakes on Saturday. And then at night at Northfield, you've got the Battle of Lake Erie, and that's Saturday, June 8th. Doors open early at 10:30 a.m. on that special day. Dennis-Manoloff and I return in a moment exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your basement is damp, dirty, and not somewhere you want to spend time. Let Naturestone Flooring transform your basement into a true extension of your home. Naturestone's proprietary hydrostatic ports allow water to simply evaporate, so no mold or mildew. Plus, Naturestone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Get Naturestone installed in your home by the end of May and get up to half off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Naturestone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Jeff Shadell will join us tomorrow night from the News Herald, and of course you can see us live from 6 until 7, Monday through Thursday, and you can archive us the rest of the way right here on cleveland.com. Let's check out birthdays for the day. The great Marion Motley. Just Google him and see some of the stuff he was able to do, right?
I hope these youngsters last on the Browns do that. They Google Motley, Brown, Graham, Willis.
Robert Kraft celebrating a birthday. Anybody have an idea what? No, never mind. Mike Check, which is what we do before every show. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Torrey Holt, and Sam Darnold of the Jets, all born on this day, which is June 5th. So we said nothing really happened on June 5th, but Marianne Motley was born. How come television sets, they come in sets when there's only one? Good question. So we got a whole bunch of quickies emailed in. You can email us at real-les-levine@gmail.com. This comes in from Mitch Hoffman in Kent, Ohio. Les, I've been following you since WHK and 3WE, and with the late, great BSK, and a Sokolowski's fan also. I sent you the Toll Ride Roll Tide quickie. That was a great one. Here's a few more. If Bob Dylan covers Frank Sinatra's songs, can Jacob Dylan cover Frank Sinatra Jr.'s hits? How come there are no tomatoes in a fruit salad? Tomatoes are fruits, right? How about this?
Are they?
I don't know.
Are tomatoes? I thought tomatoes were vegetables.
Here's a beauty. This one, potentially a classic one from Peggy Mayer.
All right.
How come no matter how much you push the envelope, it'll still be stationary?
Excellent.
Excellent. Mr. Gullible, how come the cartoonist was found dead in his home, but details are sketchy?
Very good.
Oh, man.
Very good.
He continues on. He should have quit on that one, actually. How come I accidentally handed my wife the glue stick instead of chapstick? She still isn't talking to me. All right, here we go. The Daily Double from John Patrick. You got to grade these. You aware of that?
Are we doing numbers, scale,
numbers?
or
You
letter
take the
grade?
2 because he sends in the Daily Double.
Okay.
You take the 2, divide it, or you add the 2 together and divide by 2.
10 great, 1 bad?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but again, I caution you, if you give him a 10, he may say, that's it, I'm tipping my cap, I'm out of here.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
How come you should also always give 100% unless you're donating blood?
That's not bad. 8.5.
Okay. All right. No, you add the 2 together.
Oh, wait, the second one, I got to add that.
I got to give you the second
I see.
one.
I'm sorry. All right.
How come I went to the Air and Space Museum and there was nothing there?
All right.
Go ahead.
17.
17 divided by 2 is what?
8.5.
8.5. 8.5 is good. I got to tell you my goal when I invented How Come Quickies in 1989. My goal was to have everybody think in terms of How Come Quickies. Yeah. Everybody's got them. They just have to put them in proper grammar
so
form.
hard, I'm crying.
Let's go to Stu, who's in Lakewood. Stu, good evening. Go ahead.
Hey, Les. Love your show. Been listening to it pretty much every night. I just wanted to address Dennis's take on Duke Johnson, what Baker said about him. I think Baker is spot on. I mean, he's our leader of the team. I mean, we're trying to change the culture. And seriously, if Duke doesn't want to be here, well, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Well, but it's a two-way street, Stu, because at this point the Browns need him until otherwise. They need him also.
No, I think what I'm saying is Dennis didn't appreciate the way Baker handled that, and I think Baker handled it perfectly. So.
All right, hold on. Let him defend himself here.
Stu, I hear you. I didn't appreciate I thought that the comment that was a little bit problematic was the self-inflicted comment regarding is this awkward or distraction. I didn't think he needed to say that. Oh, but here's the point about Duke. Duke, I'd rather have him be honest than lie and stand in front of the media instead of saying, hey, I don't have any issues about this team and I want to be here. No, tell the truth. The truth is he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, but then he's got to drop it.
Yeah, I mean, you would like him to, but I'd rather have my athlete speaking the truth. And Mayfield can rebuke him. He can say, hey, we'd much rather have a guy who wants to be here than not. But Mayfield has to realize, okay, even if Johnson doesn't want to be here, he can't go anywhere.
Right. He's got no leverage.
He can't control his own destiny.
Leverage. And by the way, if he gets mad at him, he would reduke him.
Wow.
I totally get that. Duke doesn't have any leverage in this situation, but I think Baker, again, is just showing his leadership, and it's like, hey, man, you're either with us or you're not.
I like that part. I like the other parts of the addressing the Duke situation, except for that one, the one line there. It was kind of a little jarring to me.
About the bus?
Well, no.
Or the train, I mean?
Well, no, where he said it's self-inflicted.
Oh, yeah.
So he's basically saying, hey, Duke Johnson's to blame for this, not us.
Right.
Well, it is. I mean, he was asked a direct question, is there any awkwardness? And he's like, no, there's no awkwardness with me or the rest of the team. I mean, this is all about Duke saying this.
Yeah.
All right, Stu, hey, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it very much.
Okay.
Good to talk to you.
That's a solid point by Stu. Yeah. I'm not knocking Mayfield as the leader of the team, addressing Duke Johnson's situation the way he perceives it. I'm just saying that I think when a quarterback says it's self-inflicted about a player who is being truthful, then maybe in the locker room some of the guys go, well.
Or some of them say, hey, there's a leader. Works both ways.
Exactly. And I've never been one, though. Having said what I just said, I've never been one of those guys who's all this locker room chemistry guy, okay? I never played at a high level.
That's overrated?
Well, I don't know as, empirical evidence. I've never played at a high level. But I've talked to a lot of players who have, specifically baseball. Now, it might be different in football. Right. I've talked to a lot more baseball players than football players. And baseball players, more often than not, say that the chemistry narrative is overrated in MLB.
All right.
Maybe it's very important in football. I don't know.
I don't want to talk baseball for a minute. I'll be on 92.3 The Fan tomorrow morning from 10 until 2 in for Jeff Phelps along with Andy Baskin. When are you on WTAM next?
Next Monday and Wednesday.
Of next week.
2-pack.
Terrific.
Yes.
You enjoying it?
Yes, I am. And the 4-hour show this past Monday had some teeth. Yeah, because I'd been doing 3-hour shows.
Right.
And then you do a 4-hour show and you realize, hey, you got to bring it for another hour. So it's been fun.
All right, let's talk a minute or two about the Indians situation.
Yes.
If you just tuning in, Carlos-Carrasco on the injured list, blood disorder, and they'll have more announcements when the Carrasco family wants to address it. From a baseball standpoint, that means that Gilbert is pitching tonight, and what do you think? Hopefully they get 3 innings out of him? Is that what that's all about?
Maybe 2. I mean, I would say 3 max.
All hands on deck?
Yeah, it might as well be a bullpen game. But these could be, this is the kind of thing that actually could galvanize this team in a strange way. You're down 10.5 in the division. It doesn't look good. You've got to run a reliever out there to start a game. So it's pretty much a bullpen day. Maybe that relaxes the Indians and they go out and play great. The Twins get a little tight, thinking they should win. We've seen it before.
Well, people wondering about the way Carlos had been pitching and lack of just.
He didn't look himself.
He didn't look himself.
Nobody could have said blood disorder was the reason.
But they did say Francona did say now that he looks back that he had been actually Carlos had said that he felt lethargic during that time and. They diagnosed what it was, and that explains why you're lethargic. You got a blood disorder going on. Who knows what that's doing to you?
Right, and the thing that I would caution is, what the Indians, of course, would caution is the speculation is unnecessary. I mean, wait until the Carrasco family decides they're going to tell us what's wrong with Carlos.
Again, from a baseball standpoint, I don't recall ever, at least in the Indian situation and probably in Major League Baseball, to lose as many top-line pitchers in one season for an extended period of time. Losing Clevinger, losing Kluber.
Yeah, and it's freaky stuff, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Kluber gets hit with a comebacker, although with Indians pitchers, it's not fluky to get hit by a comebacker, as we found in the previous few years. Clevinger has this bizarro back situation or lat.
The good news on that is they told us it was going to be maybe 4 months, that he wouldn't even be able to pick up a ball for 2 or 3.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see Clev back out there. But
he'll be in Columbus tonight.
Even as poorly as it's gone for the Indians, they're still in the wild card hunt. And I don't think you have to, quote, blow it up with this team in order to, you can compete while being young because they have enough of a mix, I'm not guaranteeing you overtake the Twins this year.
Is this a fluke year for the Twins?
Well, I mean, 40-19 seems to be a little bit of an outlier.
With their pitching.
I respect the Twins lineup and their ability to mash. Their pitching has been much better than anticipated.
They're trying to get Kimbrel to come out of the bullpen.
Well, the Cubs want him too,
Yeah.
and I would think he would go to the Cubs before he goes to the Twins. But
all right, that'll do it for us. Great job by the D-man, Dennis-Manoloff. As always, you can hear him on WTAM 1100. You'll hear from me in the morning on 92.3 The Fan. I'll be back here with Jeff Shadell, 6 to 7 o'clock live on cleveland.com. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.